In the movie, the FBI believe he has about $10 million stashed away, and that's a lot of paper to hide.
You hypnotized off the hatred. Deep down, you don't wanna see us make it. Deep down, you'd rather see us in the basement.
Hey, so I watched the movie Capone that stars Tom Hardy. Al Capone was one of the original gangsters. He earned his fortune by bootlegging liquor during the days of Prohibition, but he was eventually arrested and sentenced to do time for tax evasion. And while he was rotting in jail, dementia destroyed his mind, and by the time he was released, he couldn't remember anything. Everyone around him, including the FBI, wanted him to remember the location of the millions of dollars they believe he stashed on his property. The scene where he imagined himself shooting at everyone that was looking for him after he went missing, I think was a hallucination that was caused by the fact that he thinks everyone just wants his money, and he was seriously struggling to remember where he hid the money. Before he fell into the water, he said something about digging where it's wet. So maybe the money is buried near a pool or near a large body of water near his home. At one point, Capone's bootlegging operation was making about $100 million a year, and he was balling out. He bought jewelry, fancy cars, wore expensive suits, and ate gourmet meals. He always had heavy security around him and even bought a waterfront Miami beach mansion. Rumor is that he paid for everything he bought in cash to avoid being traced by the government, who could potentially seize his assets. This kind of explains to me how he got caught up in tax evasion. I mean, how are you making so much money and buying all these nice things and living so well, but you don't report a dime to the government? They're definitely gonna know that you're up to something. According to Al Capone's great niece, Deirdre Capone, he went out of his way to hide his hundreds of millions of dollars. She wrote a book about Al Capone. In it, she reveals a conversation she had with her grandfather, Ralph Capone, who said that the worst part of Al's incarceration was what it did to his memory. It was catastrophic. It changed his life, my life, your life. It changed all of our lives. Your Uncle Al, he had an incredible amount of money that he couldn't put into a bank account or openly invest. He didn't trust the stock market. He called it a game. He didn't trust anyone enough, even me, to take care of the money. So the main thing he did was get safe deposit boxes in various banks around this country and in Cuba using fake names. Deirdre thinks that when payments stopped going into the deposit boxes and the banks couldn't get a hold of the owner because Capone used fake names, the banks opened up these boxes to try to see who owns them, but they never could. In the case of the safety deposit boxes in Cuba, Deirdre thinks that if you find a bunch of American cash that's unclaimed, no one's going to turn that in Cuba. She had a conversation with Al Capone, and he told her that not only did he hide his money in a bunch of different banks, but he took the safety deposit box keys with the fake names attached to them and hid them in a strong box. Then he buried that box, but when he went to go dig up that box after, he couldn't find it. She tried everything to help him remember where the box was at, including hiring a hypnotist. She even got people to dig up his yards and his estates, but nothing ever turned up. Deirdre still believes that there's still over $100 million of Al Capone's money still hidden somewhere out there in homes or underground vaults and containers. Capone gets 3 mics from me. It was entertaining and all, but they need to make a movie about Al Capone in his glory. But what y'all think? Is there still millions of dollars possibly hidden somewhere out there? Or do y'all think he spent all his money living that fast life? No matter how you look at it, to me, it sounds like he fumbled the cash. It's free for y'all to support the channel by liking and subscribing, so make sure y'all do that, and I'm gonna get up with y'all on the next video, alright? Holla at me.
I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way